Hello and welcome to the Pigskin Preview Show. 6 of the 7 teams in our coverage area held their openers last week. As you probably know by now, Social Circle lost a heartbreaker at Banks County, 13-7. Covenant lost to New Creations by a score of 21-14. Walnut Grove got shut out at Morgan County, 20-0. And Monroe area took Monticello to 3 overtimes before finally falling 46-40. Loganville Christian Academy did come up with a win, beating Calvary 41-8, as did George Walton Academy with a 28-0 whitewash of Pinecrest. Loganville High School was off last week, and we'll talk about the Red Devils a little later in the show as they get ready to have their season opener this week. We'll also have other games that David Johnson and I will discuss. But first, this is Monroe area head football coach Matt Fligg, whose Purple Hurricanes battled and battled before finally falling at the Rose Bowl.
He made a couple of big receptions. And Michael Gallup is our top receiver. He caught some good passes for us. But, we did find out some kids. K'Wan Brooks, the sophomore, he had a great night catching the ball and running the ball. So we just need to get those young kids bonding with our older kids. And our young kids are going to be good. I mean, they're talented. Mm-hmm. They just need to get some experience.
Tell you what's really impressed me is reading on Facebook that some of your kids have posted on Facebook that they lost, but they're not beaten by a long way. They're getting ready to come back and play even better against Riverwood this week. And 4 or 5 years ago, that never would have happened.
No, our kids heard after the game. It was painful just to lose because of what we did last year. But our biggest challenge is going to be what we're going to do this week. But as you can tell from what you just said, I think our kids are going to come back very hungry this week and really cut down on the mental errors and play good football. And we're going to have to, because Riverwood, which we beat pretty bad last year as well, they're much improved.
They won Friday night, didn't they?
Well, they lost to Holy Innocents,
okay.
But they really dominated the game. I've seen the tape. And they run the Georgia Tech offense, and they run a 50 defense. And they like to bring pressure, and they've got a lot of kids back as well.
Something we talked about off and on over the years is the community support, and that goes back to the Facebook thing. But you got a lot of parents involved more than ever, and I think they're going to pack those stands on Friday night.
Yeah, I tell you, we got a good booster club. Our booster club is really going good. We had our annual steak dinner last Thursday night at the Legion Hut. We had the biggest crowd we've had here in 5 years, and our community's into it. And we want to perform for them. We want to do well. That's part of why it hurt so much last week, because we got so many people supporting us. But like I said, one game, and it's not a region game or anything that matters in the playoff hunt. But we just got to learn from our mistakes.
All right, let's get going this week and get ready for that region schedule that starts in 2 weeks.
Well, we play Riverwood, and then we're off a week. And I think it might be a good time because we do have some kids banged up. And then we open up our region opener here against Lumpkin on the 16th and go to Chesty. Those are our region crossover games. And then after that, on October 1st, we play Oconee County, which is our first of 5 sub-region games.
All right, good luck this Friday night. We'll talk later.
Appreciate it, Danny.
All right. That's head coach Matt Fligg of the Monroe area Purple Hurricanes. All right, we're back and out here at the Monroe practice field. As you can see, the Purple Hurricanes over behind us getting ready to play Riverwood this Friday night. We just talked to head coach Matt Fligg. I guess a big game, or one of the big games, David Johnson, this week is Loganville getting started. And it must be rough watching other teams play in the first week.
Yeah, they've by the time they kick off Friday night, they will beat up on each other for 5 weeks. So I know I talked to Coach Godfrey earlier. He's ready to hit somebody else, or his players are especially. So they've got a tough opener. It should be one of the old-fashioned slobber knockers against Rockdale. Key game, of course, in the region they're in, Region 8 Quad A. Every game's a key game because they play a full region schedule. 11 teams in the region. Every game counts. So every game's important.
Rockdale's always got a lot of team speed. That's one of the problems that Loganville has always suffered against. And they got to play really good fundamental football to keep Rockdale from getting behind them.
Yeah, well, fundamentals, that should be interesting because they're really young. But both teams are, especially Loganville. They've got 3 starters back on offense, 2 guys back on defense that have had varsity experience, weren't necessarily full-time starters last year. So, fundamentals could be interesting. We'll we'll see. It's they've got a long way to go. Garrett Ford, quarterback there, second-year starter. I've seen him play since he was a 6- and 7-year-old kid in GFL, and I knew back then he was going to be something special. And he's really going to have to carry this team early because he's got him, Zach Kyers at a tight end, Avery White on the line, and then that's it.
I was going to say that's about as many names as we know from Loganville right now, but we'll know more as the season goes along. All right, Walnut Grove is going to be against Jackson County. Walnut Grove are going to try to come back from that shutout at Morgan County last week. Used to be you could rack up Jackson County as maybe almost a week off, and that's not the case anymore.
No, they're a tough team now. They've come around. They're a good program. Again, pretty good physical game. They've got some team speed. Got a kid last week, Xavier Harper, scored a couple of touchdowns, return to kick for a touchdown, 30-yard reception for a touchdown. They've got some speed, and that's going to be tough. It's going to be of course, they lost to them last year, I think 21-3. Right now, Walnut Grove they've just got a steep learning curve. They're young. I think like 6 seniors on the entire roster, trying to learn this new offense. They've just got a big, steep learning curve, and it's just going to take experience.
I saw the Warriors play on Friday night. There were some bright spots, and of course there were some not so bright spots. They didn't turn the ball over. I don't think there might have been one turnover in that ball game, but I think they played pretty good fundamental football. O.J. Soto's got them playing hard. They never gave up in the ball game, and I know that's one of the cliches. We fought hard and never gave up, but that was the case on Friday night. Walnut Grove's going to have a lot of that, and they're going to have to play hard every single week. All right, Social Circle is going to be at home this week against Hancock Central.
Yeah, and I don't care what Brian put in his story Friday night. Social Circle won that game. That was a team that went on the road against a higher classification team, leading at halftime 7-0. They had 5 turnovers in the game, lost their quarterback late in the game, and still they had a chance to pull that one out. Social Circle is, I think, going to surprise some people this year.
And good news is, and I don't know if Coach Seawright wants us to tell anybody or not, but the quarterback's going to be all right.
Yeah, Michael, he took a shot. It was one of these blind side kid, just getting full speed, wide open. Had to carry him off as precautionary, but it looked scary enough, carried him off. Anytime you strap somebody to one of these backboards and carry him off the field, it's scary. But he apparently just had some really badly bruised ribs, and he's expected to be back in the start line Friday night.
Brian Arrington, who you're talking about, is on the other side of this camera. He says it's the hardest hit he's ever seen in high school football. It must have been a bad one. All right, how about George Walton this week?
George Walton is off. Yeah, they get the second week. They looked really strong against Pinecrest Friday night. The game was basically a glorified tryout for running backs. They had 10 kids run the ball, and they're just trying to find the right 1 or 2 pair to carry them. But that's going to be their game this year. They'll throw a pass out wide here and there to try to open up and make the defense honest, but they're going to run the ball.
That was a big issue. We hadn't forgotten anybody. I know the Loganville Christian Academy is going to try to make it 2-0 as the Lions are going to be at home against Northside on the LCA campus, and Covenant going to try to get in the winning column as they take on Creekside. So a busy week of football this week. Week 2 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we can't forget Monroe. Here we are right here at watching them play. I never thought I'd see the day where Chad Estes' defense would give up 46 points, but they did. I wouldn't want to be Riverview this week.
All right, kickoff time at the Purple Pit at 7:30 on Friday night. That's going to wrap it up. Don't forget to pick up your copy of the Walton Tribune on Saturday morning. Read about all the games Dave and I were just talking about. We'll see you here on the show next week, whenever you get around to it, anytime after Wednesday afternoon.